shit.
Up all night. Staying up all night. Up all night.
Welcome back to the Mantry podcast. I am your host, Reggie Milligan, co-founder at Mantry. This podcast is all about helping you cook better, and we do it audio so you can throw it on while you're on the go, while you're commuting, while you're cleaning, so the next time you get back in the kitchen, you're just a little bit more ready to go. So today's episode, we are talking about avoiding disaster, in this case, pasta. Making pasta is something that everybody should know how to do well. It serves you very well in life if you know some basic principles of making pasta. And, a lot of the times when we're trying to show people or teach people how to cook, it's almost more important to invert the problem and tell you what not to do. What's the 4 things you can do that you want to just avoid doing, and you'll end up way better off. So these are 4 common pasta mistakes to avoid. So to start, number 1, using cold sauce. So nothing will suck the heat out of your dinner faster than adding cold sauce out of the fridge to limp noodles in the bottom of the pot. This is so simple, and too many people do it. They're using a pre-prepared sauce. They just dump it right out of the fridge on the noodles, and what you get is like a pretty lukewarm batch of pasta. And so make sure as the water boils, just when the water goes on, think, I'm going to gently heat the sauce. Grab a little saucepan, throw the sauce in there, heat it over low heat, and just bring it up. It makes a huge difference to not only the overall temperature, but the lasting temperature. And, even though something tastes hot when you take the first bite, making sure all the components are nicely heated through, it makes sure that the dish stays hot for the duration of of your eating period. And that's really important, that something's not just hot for like the first minute. It's actually hot and enjoyable for 7, 8, 10 minutes that it takes to eat it. Number 2, do add the pasta to the sauce, not vice versa. So pasta is one of the only dishes where people tend to blindly add the main event to the sauce. Could you imagine squirting out a huge amount of HP sauce and dropping a whole steak in it, right? It seems pretty crazy. Sauce to pasta ratio is important. By adding the pasta to the sauce, you'll find the right balance. So this one, you want to just make sure that you have your sauce in the bottom of the pan, and then you're adding the pasta just until there's enough that makes sense, okay? And the reason you do this and you don't just take some noodles and then throw your sauce on top of it is because you can end up easily, when you do it like that, not sort of eyeing the right amount of noodles, and you end up with way, way, way too little sauce to coat the pasta. So it's better to add your noodles, have your sauce going in the pan, and then add your noodles to it. So you can kind of just add the right amount that the sauce can take on. So I know that sounds like a little backwards, but it's going to help you have a better amount of sauce to pasta ratio. Number 3, letting the pasta water go down the drain. This is probably the most common mistake. The pasta water has amazing starchiness to it, and if you mix it in with the sauce like the Italians do, it brings together the sauce, it coats the noodles better. You want to make sure you reserve a couple tablespoons of pasta water and add it to the sauce. It will help the sauce coat the noodles, and it will give it a really nice shine. So just make sure that like when you go to strain the pasta, you've got a bowl underneath to catch a lot of that nice pasta water, and just use a little couple tablespoons, dab it in as you're coating the sauce and the noodles together. You'll see it makes a huge difference for the final product. And number 4, finish pasta in a pan. So if the pasta is boiled and the sauce is warm, this is where good pasta becomes great. Add the pasta to the sauce, a couple spoons of pasta water, some herbs, grate in a little bit of that cheese, pecorino, parmesan, and toss over heat to bring it all together. The final step takes 1 minute and will take you from basic to Batali. So the idea here is that all great restaurants will finish their pasta in the pan. It's not about basically getting a bowl and having your sauce and dumping the noodles in. If you get a little bit of extra heat at the very end for 1 minute with your pasta, and you get the nice biggest skillet you got, whatever you got, and if you overheat, it'll just help reduce everything a little bit. It'll help combine everything. When you're adding your cheese, it'll melt it through nicely. When you throw the herbs in, it'll release more of the essential oils and just sort of get everything working together and heat the whole dish through. So if you can finish the pasta in a pan, it will make a huge difference. So this was a short one today, but these are 4 common pasta mistakes to avoid. And just to review, number 1, using cold sauce. Always heat the sauce up. Number 2, do add the pasta to the sauce. Don't add your sauce to the pasta. So have your sauce in a pan, add the pasta to it. Number 3, letting the pasta water go down the drain. That stuff is gold. Just let it, capture it, throw a couple teaspoons in, mix it in with the sauce. And 4, finish the pasta in a pan. If you can, just finish it off. That's where you can doctor it up with the fresh herbs, with the cheese, with the sauce, cracked pepper, seasoning, and bring it all together for 1 minute in the pan. It helps sort of coat everything, bring it together. So that's it. If you enjoyed it, share it, or share it with somebody who you think is making some common pasta mistakes or loves pasta. And we appreciate you tuning in. We'll be back again with more tips and hints. This is all about helping you cook better. I'm Reggie, co-founder at Mantry. Thank you so much for listening, and good luck.
Up all night.